Mixolydian? If you've ever wondered what this mysterious mode actually sounds like and why it's worth learning, you're in the right place. Today, we're exploring Mixolydian mode, something that might sound intimidating, but is actually really, really beautiful. And don't let that ancient Greek name fool you. For intermediate piano players, this is one of the most rewarding and accessible modes to explore. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rosemarie. I've been teaching for over 20 years and composing imaginative educational piano music for nearly as long here at Must Love Music. If this is helpful, please consider subscribing. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what Mixolydian mode is, how it differs from major and minor scales and modes, and you'll have some practical techniques to use it in your own playing. We'll explore it through musical examples, try some improvisation, and I'll give you 4 essential tips that will make this mode feel natural under your fingers. First, let's establish our foundation. Mixolydian is actually much closer to a major scale than you might think. In fact, it's identical to a major scale except for one note. The 7th degree, or the 7th note of the scale, is lowered by a semitone or a halftone, depending on where you live. So if we're in E Mixolydian, instead of having a D sharp like we would in E major, we have a D natural. And that's it. Just one note difference, but oh man, what a difference it makes. Think of it this way. Major scales tend to sound bright and resolved. Minor scales, they can sound sad or dramatic. But Mixolydian, it has this dreamy, floaty quality that's neither completely happy nor sad. It has its own mood, all of its own. I'm going to demonstrate this with a piece called Celestial Whispers. It's written in E Mixolydian, and I want you to listen specifically to this excerpt because it really highlights the Mixolydian mode. It's so beautiful, right? Celestial Whispers is available on my website, and you can access it here. Well, now here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to play just the last part of that. So the descending part, I'm going to change it from the D, so that's what we would have in the Mixolydian, to a D sharp, as if this was an E major. So did you hear that difference? This version with D sharp felt a bit more resolved, more traditionally major, while the original with the D without a sharp, it had that floating, almost mystical quality. And that's the magic of Mixolydian mode. Just one note changed creates a completely different emotional landscape. Now I'm really curious, which version did you prefer? The Mixolydian original or the major scale variation? Drop a comment below. I love hearing how these subtle changes affect different listeners. Learning modes like Mixolydian opens up incredible possibilities for piano players who want to create music in their own unique way. In my online studio, I specialize in helping neurodivergent learners and all piano players discover improvisation from day one. My teaching approach makes music theory accessible and inclusive, allowing you to learn at your personalized pace. If you're ready to explore creative music making in a supportive online environment, visit mustlovemusic.ca, or you can scan the QR code here for your meet and greet. Here are my 4 essential tips for mastering Mixolydian. Tip 1, start with the scale pattern. Practice your Mixolydian scale. We've got E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and here's where it changes, D, so not D sharp like the major, and then E. Do you feel how that D wants to resolve down to the C sharp instead of up like it would in a major scale? So Tip 2, build chords underneath. Try playing an E major chord in your left hand while you're still playing the scale in your right. And then going down. You'll notice I repeated one of the notes, and that's because I happen to know that the fifth note of the scale, which was the fourth note going down, sounds better with that E major. And so this is going to give you a little harmonic context that makes the Mixolydian mode really shine. Tip 3, focus on the characteristic notes. Emphasize it in melodies and don't be afraid to linger on it sometimes. And tip 4, think of it as a relaxed major. If a major scale is standing up straight, Mixolydian's like kind of leaning back in a comfortable chair. And this relaxed mood is exactly why this mood is used so often in blues and jazz. A lot of times it helps when we relate something new to something we already know. So that's why I'm recommending that major and Mixolydian connection. All right, let's try some improvisation. Remember tip 3 where I mentioned focusing on the characteristic notes? Well, the top of this scale is where you're going to hear those characteristic Mixolydian colors the most clearly. So we're just going to use the top 5 notes of the E Mixolydian. So that is E, D, C sharp, B, and A. Keep a steady E major chord going in your left hand, and then just create some simple melodies with those 5 notes in your right hand. You can try different rhythms, maybe hold some notes longer than others, and notice how that D adds such a character to your improvisation. Here's an example. Kept it very simple, right? Same chord in the left hand, and then changed up my rhythm in the right. Don't worry about being perfect when you improvise. Just explore the sound and let your musical instincts guide you. The Mixolydian mode is a fantastic gateway into creative music making. It shows us how small changes can create entirely new musical landscapes. For fellow piano teachers, be sure to subscribe so you see my teaching approach for the Mixolydian modes in tomorrow's video. If you want to dive deeper into how modes connect to the bigger picture of music theory, check out my Circle of Fifths piano breakthrough video. That was from last week. And the Circle of Fifths is a treasure trove of information about major and minor modes, which helps you learn and create music more easily. Thanks and happy playing.